asking me that question for true? Folks, there are 3 types of stress. Is that true? Is true? All right, Rosie, go and tell me. But the main 2 are acute and chronic. Acute is when there's a particular situation that causes your body to go into overdrive, but the stress will be gone once the situation has eased. For example, trying to escape a burning building. Yes, that will stress out anybody. But the stress we'll be focusing on today is chronic stress. The one that's ongoing on a daily basis, no matter how hard you try to get rid of it. Well, hopefully, Associate Counseling Psychologist Rosemary, you use Trump still?
I just answer to anything.
Can help. Good morning.
Good morning,
Just,
Simone.
I'm going to sit on the couch and be a patient.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll get you to breathe at the end of this. Yes.
Chronic stress. So many of us are walking around with chronic stress.
Yes.
Do we even know that we're walking around with chronic stress?
Sometimes we don't, you know, and we think we're living with the symptoms and not realizing. So stress is what our body's response to a demand on it. So I like to tell the story of the bear and the spear. So, you know, when the men went out to hunt bear, you would meet, to hunt, you may sometimes meet a bear. And you're lifting your spear, and you decide in that moment, what are you going to do? Are you going to run, or are you going to fight? In the moment when you're deciding that, your body releases all kinds of hormones and gets the muscles ready, cortisol and adrenaline, and the heart is beating fast, and lots of things happen to prepare to either fight
or fright.
Or
flight or fright.
Right, I
yes,
would call it the flight
response.
or fright
yes.
syndrome. And, you know, maybe that would happen once every, I'm not sure how often. I wasn't around them. I'm ancient, but not that long. But
it's
your body would
your body
naturally
goes
return.
In speech too,
right.
Public speaking.
But now, every day, you get up.
Treadmill.
You may have things at home that you have to get ready, get children ready. You have a quarrel with the partner, you know. And so you get out, you get into traffic, and then you get to work, and there's work stress, there's stress from the demands of the job, there's stress from relationships on the job, and then you come home, there's more stress, you're thinking about the money. So we're living with constant stressors and our reaction to it, and if we don't manage it. So there's no way to escape stress, but we have to manage it.
You're saying some of us are walking around with the symptoms and we don't know. So how do the symptoms manifest?
And there are lots of them, and it depends on you, and that's something we need to understand. What stresses you may not stress me, and my reaction to it. So you have physical symptoms, you have psychological symptoms, you have performance symptoms. So you could have headaches, difficulty sleeping or sleeping too much, fatigue, chronic fatigue, and you're sleeping, and you're still not feeling rested.
Right.
Stomach issues, it's a complicating factor in illnesses such as heart disease, diabetes, obesity.
Some people get flu every minute, the immune system
constant illness, colds, yes, and you can't figure out why. And then there are the psychological symptoms. It can, you know, cause you to feel depressed, to feel hopeless, and generally that feeling of feeling overwhelmed is what people call stress. There are performance issues, difficulty concentrating, difficulty finishing the jobs you're supposed to do. So it's a wide range of symptoms.
Like these people on the TV, just look at them and you will see exactly what is going on.
I'm looking at them, so and the menu varies. Yeah.
So Rosie, you're saying we can manage this stress?
Yes, you can.
How do you manage stress?
Well, the first thing is to recognize that stress is real and what it is that triggers your stress. So for some persons it may be money issues, so for some it's relationship issues, for some it's that sense of not being in control. And once you recognize what your triggers are, then you can at least start to understand how to deal with it. But I think we need a lifestyle of stress management, because generally modern life is stressful. Even in Jamaica, all the stories of violence, the fact that we live with the threat of violence against us, and you hear about violence to others. So I think all of us need a stress management program. It should involve being able to relax, taking relaxed breaks. In fact, I saw an interesting article recently researched on taking a nature pill, 20 minutes in nature somewhere by the sea. I see people downtown now just sitting by the seaside. That's fabulous.
Just don't make it splashy, because they have a polluted, which is another source of stress.
You know, going into the bushes, learning to relax yourself by breathing properly.
Meditation.
I'll give a 3 minutes. Even if you don't meditate, we have something called progressive muscle relaxation, and even without that, just deep breathing can just take away the build up of the hormones in the body and send a different message to your mind.
There are people who will tell you that if you're going through the stresses, and you know what the stresses are, so if it's a relationship, if it's a job, if it's a friend, if it's a, just cut it out. It's not really that easy. No. And usually you really have to manage it. Talking to persons and talking to family and friends that you can trust, because sometimes that will stress you more when they spread your business. But also talking to a psychologist. And here I have to say, you know, JamPsych, check our website at www.jampsych.com. And JamPsych is the
Jamaican Psychological Society. And a psychologist, especially one who, you know, focuses on stress, can help you to deal with it, because some of the stress we have is caused by how we think. And, you know, persons who have to be perfect, have to be right all the time, overachievers, you know, the people who have would and should as their masters in their lives, those things are not as easy to manage on your own. So talk to a psychologist if you feel that you're trying these things. Get enough sleep. Eat properly, because sometimes just our eating patterns can stress us. Take a break sometimes. Take a break from the routine and just do nothing, you know, relax, laugh, and try not to do everything at once. As women especially, I heard you talking about gender equality. Women, we're working, we're studying, we're mothering, we're wifing, we're working in the community, in church. You know, sometimes we have to learn to prioritize and do. We can do it all over our lifetime, but not all at once.
Can you say a bit about this counseling issue and Jamaicans? We have a culture of shame when it comes to talking to people. You know, if people say, "Oh, I went to a counseling psychologist," people say, "You're mad? Or you get mad?" Or there is no shame in it.
No,
I've done it. It was very beneficial.
I do it.
Anytime I feel like I'm going back off the deep end, I will happily, because sometimes you don't have the tools, so you have to go to somebody who has the tools.
Exactly.
So your word would be to forget the shame of it.
Absolutely, and psychologists are here to support you. You know, it's not only about illness. There are some persons who are ill and who need specific interventions because they are ill. But there are some persons who, and that's most of us, who just need some help in life. You need some help dealing with your stress. You need some help dealing with that relationship, or, you know, deciding what to do about the job, or making a career decision, or just generally in life, helping you to understand what's happening and put things in perspective. We're an independent eye, and we're trained to do that, and we are confidential.
And so you go to JamPsych, JAMPSYCH, to look for the
.com,
for the registered.
Make sure your psychologist is registered.
Yes.
Those of us who are registered, we do have a card that says, and check the date. It's actually registration time now between April and June each year. So make sure your psychologist is registered.
Psychologist and not a quack, as has been happening with dentists from the other day. And you make contact with them, they will come and do a session with you, as Rosemary has said, to talk you through any issues that you're having. And it's cool to know they're human too, because Rosie says she has a psychologist too.
Absolutely.
So there's no shame in it, folks. Thank you very much, Madam, for sharing and for sharing that. Associate Counseling Psychologist Rosemary Chung-Bordeaux. And before we head to the break, Roberta takes the stage with I Shall Not Be Moved.
Smile Jamaica, good morning. I stand firm, firm. Spanish Town. Hey, da, 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 da. Kish, cat. Hey, da, 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 da. Every morning as me rise, me hold a meditation. Me read a couple songs to get some elevation. Then me chant a word of prayer for some preservation. Get my mind ready for the road. And then me stepping on the street, the book of Revelation. See the wonders, the signs, and all the proclamation. Systematic genocide for shrink the population. 666 governmental code. Well, it's a sci-fi world full of fantasy, with illusions and lies, what a travesty. Political lords and vanguards have us captives of their insanity. Well, I shall not be moved. I stand firm by my decision. Righteousness is my religion. Hey, I shall not be moved. Even though the world is so confused, I am not amused. I shall not be moved. I could never be moved. I stand firm. Could never be moved. Yes, I'm the lineage, I'm a birth, me make my Nazarene vow. Simple me now go bend when the whole world above. One sow the seeds where I forefathers sow. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Yes, I'm a soldier for life with a mental shift. Radical Israelite with the truth to give. So I pass for a cause to embrace the massive. Telling all of my people to wake up and live. I shall not be moved. I stand firm by my decision. Righteousness is my religion. Hey, I shall not be moved. Even though the world is so confused, Roberta is not amused. Every time they come around and try to keep the righteous down. Reprobated legislations, contamination has no bound. I will never ever stray. On this righteous path I'll stay. Almighty Yahshua my provider, and He's the leader of my way. I shall not be moved. I stand firm by my decision. Righteousness is my religion. Hey, I shall not be moved. Even though the world is so confused, I am not amused. I shall not be moved. Could I never be moved? I stand firm.